Mistaking an earnings gap for a wage gap. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Now this is a topic that just will not die because, well, we've got a whole government organization that is dedicated to fueling this bullshit. It really is. This is just utterly ludicrous. You know, West Australia has the widest gender pay gap in Australia, according to the WGEA. Now, the WGEA is government funded, and they're just pushing, leftist, feminist propaganda. It's an earnings gap. And the reason why WA will be so big, because WA is a huge mining state. They're Australia's iron ore exporter. That's why. And, well, mining in the middle of nowhere, in a crappy environment, men are more likely to do it than women, okay? That's just a harsh reality there. This is the thing. Leftists think we're all equal, where normal people realize there's a difference between the genders, and that affects our choices in how we live. And that's represented in our earnings. It's all normal. There's no nefarious scheme against it, at least not anymore. Maybe back in the boomer day, they were seeing that, they were arguing for it. But when I talk to female project managers, female architects, they're all earning good money, everyone, And the only difference in earnings may be because they decide to prioritize children, which is a good thing and should be encouraged and held up high, that someone is willing to spend time to raise their kids. But I guess, this is written by a bunch of young people, and the bureaucrats, they've got a vested interest in keeping this lie going, because that's how they earn their money. If you ever heard of a bullshit job, that's it. And we've talked about this before. Labor doubles down on the wage gap 3 years ago. The SBS and the candy pay gap, looking at the difference in kids' pocket money. The gender pay gap, 4 years ago, we looked at this. The tennis gender pay gap, 3 years ago. Pocket money pay gap. CEOs pushing for pay equality in sports. There you go, guys. You can see the gender spending gap. Look at that one. There's a certain difference there. And then I think I've got another one about the tax gap. So this is the problem with Labor. They are fully believing this bullshit. Okay, that's it. That's a big issue. And this is what happens when you vote woke, we all go broke. So let's see how this is written. The male-dominated mining industry. Yes, because it's tough work. Okay, come on. And it's a lot of engineers. It's not that women can't do it, not that women don't do it. They do. And they probably earn bloody good money. They're probably damn good at the job. And they probably are pissed off, at least the ones I know, at all these gender quotas being put everywhere to turn them into a token. But guys, there's a lot of issues working in the mining, a lot of issues working remote. We had a job where we were designing upgrades to a whole bunch of camp accommodation because they were getting rid of the wet mess. And they've got issues of mental health, working so remote. So, yeah. The Workplace Gender Equality Agency. See, there you go. Have you ever heard of a more socialist bloody organization than that? That there needs to be cut. We need to get rid of it entirely. That's a saving. Pass it on as a tax deduction. So, shows men in WA were last year paid on average 21.2% more. No, see, this is let's fix this article. Last year earned. Oh, I can't write with the mouse. But you know what I mean. We'll say that's earned. 21.2% more per week than women. Well, who worked more hours? Where's that data? Triple the 7.4% disparity in South Australia. Oh no! Are there even any jobs in South Australia? Okay, I know that's mean to the South Australian viewers, but look, you can't compare South Australia to Western Australia. They're not the same at all. Australia's national gender earnings gap was 13.8%, with women across all industries earning $1,591 each week on average compared to $1,846 for men. Okay, but then there's a spending gap. How many of these men do you think are providing for a family? The traditional role. I know some of the woke little soy boys aren't going to, they're going to be fretting to even hear someone mention that a man is a provider for a family and takes care of them. And actually, steps up to that responsibility, but it still happens. It still happens. As a couple, you kind of got to work together as a team to deal with all the bullshit that life throws at you. The state-by-state differences in gender pay can be partly explained by industry profiles. There you go. Oh, damn it, I should have said earnings. Of each state, analysis of ABS data by the federal government agency found we should just ditch this agency. The full-time workforce in WA has larger mining and construction sectors than other states, which are industries with relatively high earnings and low representation of women. Yeah, because look where you're working, okay? Look at where you're working. How many people want to do that? Even the blokes don't want to do it, okay? They do it for the money. My brother-in-law works on a mine in the middle of nowhere. He got able to work from home a lot more and took a cut in his pay. And he is so bloody happy. I'm jealous. He's surfing every other day or golfing, living at his jungle man bachelor retreat. So he's got the life. What do you think's more important? You'll see more women working in this once you can drive these trucks remotely. Guaranteed. And it's already starting. In comparison, South Australia and the ACT have large public sectors, which traditionally have lower gender pay earnings gaps and more balanced gender representation. Yeah, because it's completely artificial. And it's an office job. You're talking office job compared to resource sector job. They released their fresh WEGA, gender pay or earnings disparity, this time based on age. Wages and age mapping the gender pay gap by age found that last year women made up less than 50% of the full-time workforce across every generation. Yeah, who the people don't realize. This is the thing. The socialists, the leftists, they want equality. They want everything to be the same. Just right back to the communists. This is why when people are discussing, oh, look, we're getting a new world order. It's not. It's just the same bullshit reheated again, presented to us again. Australia is just moving more and more interventionist, government control. They will regulate businesses to meet quotas and other bullshit. And Labor is fully on board with this rubbish. Okay, no, forget about having freedom of choice. And whenever they start implementing quotas, it's just a disaster. At every age and stage of their working lives, the majority of women are also not working full-time, resulting in missing out on management roles. Yeah, but what if they don't want to? I remember as an architect, a student, working in an office, and I met, there are these women working there in the practice that were architects, or some of them weren't even registered, and they were only working full-time. They didn't want to take on the responsibility or the liability of running a job. They were just happy just to do a bit of drafting, go in, clock in, leave, and live a happier life. What's wrong with that? In some ways, I think women are smarter than us blokes, okay? Because men are so stupidly attached to their careers as a part of our identity, we'll work ourselves to death for it. Don't tell me that's not true, okay? Come on. Men over the age of 55 are twice as likely to be in management than women. For women who have made it to management ranks at the same age, 2/3 are in lower tier management ranks. Well, that's on them. Who cares? I mean, this is a government agency that has to promote this ideologically based garbage for their existence. I mean, what about all the women working there? This is just a bullshit job. What they're doing is a complete bullshit job. It adds no value to the economy. It's just for political division. The data taken from more than 3 million Australian employees also reveals men are paid more than women across every generation. Yeah, well, probably because I would bet the men work more hours. We found it in our job. We hired young people, first job. The blokes would spend more time, would do more overtime. If we needed someone to stay back to meet a tight deadline, the young guys said, yeah, I'll do it. There you go. The wage gap peaks at 55 to 64, where men out-earn women by 31.9%, or more than $40,000 on average per year. Too many employers are missing a huge talent pool by not encouraging and enabling women to work additional hours or in management roles. What if they don't want to? What if they would rather spend some time with their kids or their family? I know, oh no. This is the feminist cancer bullshit going through our society, wanting you to be a slave to the employer and not make house or raise a family or actually raise your own kids. They want the state to raise your children, everyone. This is this whole socialist thinking. They want to influence your children right from childcare all the way through with all this crazy collectivist bullshit. So, with effective policies, workplaces can enable both men and women to work full-time if they choose and make higher paid management roles more accessible for those who work part-time. Well, no, you can't. It's bullshit. This is showing you it's coming from a government organization that isn't in the real world. You know, part-time management roles, job sharing. I'm very skeptical about it. You know, it can create a lot of issues. You know, too many handovers, too many problems. But yeah, so, well, let's have a talk about this one, guys. This is the, well, vote woke, go broke. We're going to see more of this garbage. Okay? It's an earnings gap. It's not a pay gap. Maybe back in, 40 years ago, but these days, it's not the same. The boomers aren't running a lot of these businesses anymore. Or if they do, they're so bloody woke, they'll just be racist and sexist and tick a whole bunch of boxes. It's true. That's going to be my new catchphrase. Vote woke, go broke. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this one. Have you ever met anyone who has knowingly broken the law and illegally paid women lower than men? Or did they, they would screw everyone over if they're doing that? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can financially support us via YouTube or Patreon, use our referral links, or buy our pocket squares. And finally, call us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and our firm is, 50% female-owned and 50% male-owned. There you go. Who spends more money? It depends. If I'm buying tools or Rachel's buying, sewing materials. More bloody materials, I tell you. Sewing.